The lecture theatre was pretty much how he remembered it, but less scruffy, with better fittings. Just as he himself had upgraded from white trainers and stonewashed jeans to tweed jacket, cargo pants, and handmade moccasins. Heads turned away from whatever world they had been inhabiting and followed him as he walked self-consciously from the double doors to the bench at the front of the lecture theatre. He placed his leather portfolio and scarf on its ancient, pitted, deeply waxed surface. It felt strange to be back. It was years since he had delivered a lecture to proper students. It was not the same as performing keynotes to privileged, but mostly ignorant luminaries. It was also years since he'd been outside the caliphate. All the t-shirts and bare legs had made him feel like he was a visiting alien. The lecture would be a favour for his old college. He was the famous alumnus, returning to deliver words of inspiration to a new generation. Turning away from the heat of keen minds radiating enthusiasm, Professor Abuday Narasimhan looked to the meticulously wiped whiteboard. The pen squeaked as his loopy, erratic hand movements laid down navy blue lines. Information equals entropy equals energy equals mass. Still with his back to the class, the professor squeezed in the triangles he had left out before each word. Delta information equals delta entropy equals delta energy equals delta mass. Hard-won experience told him that this class of first-year undergraduates should be smirking and mocking his back by now. However, unnervingly, there was no sniggering or bangs of miscellaneous percussion, only sounds which, generously interpreted, might have been hundreds of sleeves brushing varnished desks as fingers took up pens and styli. Still looking away, he continued with his often-rehearsed routine and said, "Through the transitive property of equality, we can see..." And with a flourish he wrote, "Information equals mass." He turned, expecting, at best, a sea of blank faces, at worst, rows of empty benches, and perhaps the backs of hastily departing pupils. Instead, he was confronted with hundreds of students diligently writing down his words. It was disconcerting. "Hello, I am Professor Narasimhan." He waited until the murmuring of hellos and welcomes had petered out. "You can call me Abuday. I'm very much pleased to have been invited here today to share with you my work." He took in the fresh faces, and then caught two older figures sitting further back, slightly away from the other students. They might have been lecturers sitting in, but they might just as well have been the Caliph's Mutaween, watching him for slips in obedience. "It is also an honor for me to represent Amir al-Mu'minin," he added, just in case. More affirmative buzz from the room. "Now, have any of you already heard a little about my work?" Hands shot up. "Oh, very good. I am very flattered. So, I'm not going to focus on the math today. It is all in my paper, or my book even. So today, instead, I want to share with you some of the implications and questions still open. Perhaps one day some of you may help to close the gaps." He smiled. "Before we start, do you yourselves have any questions?" "Professor Narasimhan?" A boy, aged perhaps 20, had raised his hand. "Yes, of course, but please call me Abuday." "Abuday?" "Abuday," he corrected. "Apudi?" "It's okay. Never mind. What is your question?" "Do you think you will win the Ozimkov Prize?" "Oh, well, truly, I don't think about such things." Narasimhan really did hate these questions. He couldn't help the was that came with a swell of pride and the inevitable shame that followed such unclean egotism. He glanced fleetingly at the two possible Mutaween and concluded, "The universe is a gift, and my ability to perceive it is another gift. All praise is to Allah. Are there any other questions before we begin?" "What would you do with the money if you won?" a girl in an indecent vest top asked. But a few other students, who were more interested in physics than celebrity, hushed her down, so that Narasimhan didn't have to answer. "Okay, thank you. So, let me see. As we already know, mass curves space,